Disappointments. This is going to be a disappointment in the game, disappointment in yourself for some reason, disappointment in the dev, all that kind of shit. Anything that came out this year that just made you kind of go, that kind of sucked. So I'll go first real quick. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. This is the second COD in a row now that I just haven't picked up. I've heard it's good. I've watched gameplay of it. There's something about it that just makes me not want to fucking not play it. Which sucks because I used to buy every single Call of Duty every year, just like Josh. Just like I think Cody was playing them for a while. I don't know if you have been regularly playing them recently, but yeah, there's been 2 CODs now in a row that I'm just like not interested in, and so they're gonna have to do something to get me to come back. It's not a huge disappointment because like I fucking love the finals, so like I don't really need another first-person shooter in my life right now unless it's good enough. But I do kind of miss just playing Call of Duty. But when I look at it, it just seems like it's just gonna go nowhere. Like there's nothing really exciting about it, and then the next COD's gonna come out, and like I hear the story's good in COD Black Ops 6. I don't know, but the multiplayer didn't look that great to me, and so it's disappointing because there's a small part of me that likes to play Call of Duty every year. But 2 years now in a row, I haven't picked it up, so might be the end unless they pull a Modern Warfare remake and redo the whole fucking thing and then just fuck it up instantly. I don't know how they did that. This I have to tread lightly on because this is a Plus Club game and I can't talk about it too much. But Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I'm just going to say I'm disappointed in the dev. Rocksteady, who had one of the best like prestigious careers you could have in gaming. They made the Arkham trilogy that is widely celebrated. Even if you weren't a big fan of the third one, everybody loves those 3 games. Even if you're not a big Batman fan, it's hard to argue that they didn't make just phenomenal games, especially when those games came out. They were like beautiful visually, like big fucking hard punching games. They're just like great to play, looked amazing, great stories, great voice acting, all that shit. And then regardless of how you feel, regardless of how I feel, because I'll be talking about it in a couple days for Plus Club, not a couple days, a week. No matter how you feel about Suicide Squad, whether you like it or not, I think most people could probably agree that it is below the standard that Rocksteady has put themselves at. And you can just kind of feel and understand that WB definitely told them they need to make an online game that they can keep monetizing. And they're like, you guys are the ones that do it. You guys have the talent. And so they had to prioritize trying to make an online shooter that really kind of hurt their fucking reputation, regardless if you like it or not. Just look at the sales, look at the reception. And so my disappointment is with Rocksteady and whoever decided to lead them in the direction to make that game. Because even if you like it, it wasn't good for them to make it. And that sucks. So that's a big disappointment. Another disappointment is Concord, not necessarily in the game itself. I actually think it was a solid first-person shooter. Played very good. There's just nothing special about it. And I think the character designs were terrible. And some people liked them. A lot of people really fucking hated them. I wasn't there, but I was like, no character looks cool. Not one single character looks cool in this fucking game. Which is crazy that you can't make one cool-looking character. So there's nothing to be invested in, but they spent so much fucking money on this game. And I guess my big disappointment is, the game kind of fumbled, but Sony straight up just ripped that fucker off the internet in like 7 days. Like, get that shit out of here, fire everybody. And it's like, whoa, how'd you greenlight this game? How'd you let it get cooked to where it was, and then show people it, and everybody's going, that game looks like shit, I don't want to play it. And then release the beta and look at the feedback and then go get rid of that thing. Yeah. It's like, you're not going to rework it. You're not going to find a way to say, you spent a lot of money, put a lot of time. They were going to be releasing new CGI story trail or segments in the beginning of the game like every week, which is crazy. That show the amount of work they had to put into that is insane. This is a big AAA fucking game, and Sony just like went delete that. But let's not talk about it. I don't want you guys to even mention this. Yeah. It's crazy. So my disappointment is kind of with Concord, but mostly with the people who were running the thing, and then Sony's reaction to it. It's kind of crazy. You can say people's reaction to the game was overblown, but like you have to be able to. And it was a fucking premium game, which I kind of appreciated. It's like sell a premium game, and I'll buy it if it's solid, and then release stuff for it. I'll buy it. I'm cool with that. But that game was a fucking mess. I don't think I've ever seen a AAA game release like that and get yanked out of there so quickly. It's like Sony really had zero. Like as soon as they heard one complaint, they're like, "Get it out of here. This isn't the fucking hit we were expecting." It's crazy. I've never seen that before. I do still think it'll come back though as a free to play game because there's no way they spent all that money and fucking had like season 2 and 3 planned and then just went delete it. We're just gonna eat that cost.
Right.
It's crazy. So and then
also had a secret level episode on Amazon.
Yeah, they were invested.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were fucking on it all the way.
This is like a 10-year game they were planning. Like,
yeah, and my understanding is that you got shunned if you fucking talk bad about it behind closed doors.
I believe it.
Like it was like toxic positivity. Like you had to be like.
I believe that.
And it's probably because they spent so much goddamn money on it that it was just like this has to fucking can't say anything bad. This has to succeed. But yeah, it was that whole game and its development's a fucking shit show.
Yeah, and the two major factors that game had going on is like the gameplay was solid, but it was like not. It didn't really do anything new at all. And I get like you don't have to reinvent the fucking wheel, but there was no must-play feature that would distract me from playing the games I already enjoy playing. And then the worst part that I think is one of the biggest hits to it is like every single character looked like a fucking a person at a fashion show in Portland. Like they all like had like homeless chic going on, and it's like it's like fucking bizarre to look at. I was like, who designed these? And then you look at the original concept art; it doesn't even look the fucking same.
Yeah. You gotta they play as an old lady with a crossbow. I mean,
yeah,
come on, dude, that's pretty fun, right?
It was just andro blobs.
Yeah,
it's like I can't fucking. The art style in that game was a complete just travesty.
When people get upset too when you say something like that, and it's like, why the fuck would I play a game where I'm playing as characters I don't even like looking at? And I'm not even making a case like some people are like, when they're like, oh, these girls aren't feminine enough, or whatever. I'm not even talking about that. I just want your characters to look cool. That's it. And they all looked fucking like goofy to me. Yeah. And you can tell they were trying to do like this retro sci-fi thing, but they didn't nail in the final concept because the original concept art, you could see it. I was like, oh, I see what they're trying to do. But then whoever was like the final designers and the people who greenlit the final designs, they're not that. Somebody got in there and like altered those designs. And so that's just a team problem. Like communication sucked and somebody just accepted bullshit and they fucking paid the ultimate price for it. They're gone. It's insane. So, and I feel bad for them. I'm not somebody who gets excited about teams going down unless they were like talking shit or something, but they just try to make a good game. They kind of did it, but they kind of failed, and Sony just had zero fucking patience for that. And then my last disappointment is the most fatigued and tired and not even really caring disappointment. It's kind of like the last gasp of a dying person disappointment. Skull and Bones came out. Everybody knew it wasn't going to do well. A lot of people didn't give a shit about it before it was coming out for years, getting delayed over and over and over again. Ubisoft's just, telling us, you guys are going to want to play all these games we're making. Everybody's like, no, we don't. And then they're like, yeah, you want to play these? And then they're like, no, we don't. We don't want to play that at all. And then they release them and they're like, wonder why gamers aren't playing our games. We can't figure it out. There's got to be some kind of secret. And everybody's like, we didn't want to play that. We literally fucking told you years ago we don't want to play that game. We don't want to play this game. But we've also told you what games we want to play from you, and you won't fucking make them.
It's literally the fucking the meme of the principal of Simpsons, like pondering if he's wrong, and then decides now it's the kids that are wrong.
Yeah, exactly. That's Ubisoft, and Skull and Bones is like the quintessential example of just a game that's so like tonally fucking like detached from everything that you could gather from your consumer base on what they want. And then they build as a quadruple A game. It's going to be amazing. A $70 game. You're going to ride around on boats and shoot each other. That sounds like a fun free-to-play game to me. Release that for free-to-play. Maybe people play it then. But And then, Star Wars Outlaws, I hear that game's decent, but also had some weird things to it. But that game got residually hit by the wave that fucking Skull and Bones made, because everybody's just sick of fucking Ubisoft shit. And now they're like trying to figure out how to save themselves from getting taken over by like other companies and shit, or if they even want to sell. It's a whole mess. So yeah, my biggest disappointment, but also my least emotionally attached disappointment of 2024 is Ubisoft just fucking continuing to dig a hole in the ground for where they're going to bury themselves eventually. It's like we're over here going like, hey, you don't have to do that. You have properties we want to play. Just make a Rayman, dude. Just fucking, we'll buy Rayman. Stop digging the hole. You can keep doing Siege. Just make something. Like fucking make something we want. Where the hell is Beyond Good and Evil 2? You guys say it's still in development. Fucking just make that.
I got something to say about Beyond Good and Evil 2. Nobody can give a fuck about the first game. And now everybody's going to act like the second game is fucking this needed thing. It's not. Just cancel it. It's in hell. The fucking director's been changed like 3 fucking times. Yeah. Get fucking rid of it. Because you know what? It's not people who pretend to like the game are like, oh my God, it's coming out. It's never going to. Just fucking rip that Band-Aid off and get fucking rid of it. Because it helps nobody. Yeah. And it just makes you look fucking inept and stupid.
Yeah, I have no deep love for the original game, but I thought the second one looked awesome. But it's been in development hell for so long now that like I worry, are they even going to be able to release a game that is going to be worth playing now? Especially because all the ideas that seemed really exciting and cool when I first saw it is so long ago now that like, will those ideas be exciting in the current gaming climate? I don't know. So I wouldn't urge them to cancel it, but if they're going to keep playing games and they're going to ruin the development of the game over time by not knowing what the fuck they're doing, it might be worth just pulling a Sony and just deleting it. But they're in a really bad spot right now because they're not making the money that they need to be making. All their games are just failing, and we'll see what happens with Assassin's Creed Shadows because they're really desperate. Like they had to delay that game because pre-orders didn't even match what they needed. So Ubisoft is really struggling, and I don't want them to go under. They have properties I fucking love. They just refuse to make them. So yeah, those are my disappointments. Josh, you got any?
Yeah, I got 3. Just kind of want to piggyback off that Ubisoft thing. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a fucking shit show. All the stuff that happened, like, with Yasuke and, people getting shot down, even though they're legitimately asking a real question of why am I not playing a Japanese samurai in fucking feudal Japan?
Yeah, it's fair.
Which is a legit question, and that was obviously a choice that Ubisoft made. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a choice. It wasn't like it was in modern day fucking America. It was literally in a very regionally locked place back then. Cause this was back before they had like trade blockades and shit like that. So it wasn't racially diverse and you're just going to play the one dude. I think that was obviously a choice. And I think that should be talked about. And it's fucking lame. Another disappointment is Naughty Dog canceling. That Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
Service game.
Concord did that, dude.
From what, and I guess it's more Sony than Naughty Dog, but from everything that I've heard, the game was good. The people who actually played it, said the game was good. And
it sounded cool.
It being canceled, it really goes to show you how much not on the thumb Sony had on what people want. Because Concord that ain't it, chief. So they essentially because at least Naughty Dog had a name to them. People would check out that Last of Us game.
Yeah. Because
it was 1, The Last of Us, and 2, it was Naughty Dog, the crown jewel of Sony. Yep. So that itself would have sold just that alone. Fuck how it played would have sold more.
It was just
than-
revealed recently too that there was a multiplayer God of War game that was under development that they canceled as well, which I
Yeah.
feel differently about that. I don't know what that would have been like, but that Last of Us multiplayer game sounded in concept cool. And also, Naughty Dog has already made multiplayer games, components to their games that were all solid. They didn't catch on like Call of Duty, but they were always fun to play.
Yeah,
So-
I played the Uncharted
So
3
good.
and 4 with you guys.
Yep.
With
Yeah,
the,
so good.
And then the Last of Us one that came out, the first game back in 2013.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was good too. So I forgot what that little thing was called, but
I don't remember either.
yeah, but it really goes to show you that they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And having like a San Francisco based game, kind of survival, I think would have been awesome. So there's that. I am disappointed. I guess in myself more than anything. I do not like metaphor, and I never will. And I feel like I'm kind of missing something.
Yeah.
But I just kind of am understanding those games just aren't for me. Because Persona was
Homo or something.
I
no.
felt exactly what you're saying for the first like 12 hours of Metaphor. I'm spoiling a little bit of our discussion for Game of the Month, but for the first like 10 to 12 hours, I was like, I don't know if I'm into this system of like having limited days to fucking get certain things done. I'm getting like this like anxiety of like, oh fuck, dude, I don't know if I need to be leveling right now or need to be leveling up my imagination because I can only access certain things using that. And then like by the time I only have like 5 days to do this, I have to go do this dungeon. I have to beat it within a certain amount of time. If I don't, I fucking fail, and I have to save. So I have an alternate save in case I fuck this up, even though I don't use it. But I was like really overthinking it, and then eventually it kind of opens up in a way that I'm like, oh, it's alleviated, okay. But I completely understand what you're saying, because I was like, am I not into this? I felt the same way with Persona.
I'm just not a fan of those, like day-by-day games.
Yeah.
I feel like that weird artificial time limit is a real fucking stinker for me. It really
Majora's
fucking
Mask.
crimps me. Crimps my style. And then I'm disappointed and nobody else, I mean, other than you, Seth, nobody else really agrees with me. I am disappointed in the story of Infinite Wealth. I just feel like so much more could have been done with it, and it just kind of, it wasn't as fulfilling as I wanted it to be or needed it to be. I think I also think the Concord blunder is just a complete piece of shit decision. That was like 400, it was triple digit, like millions of dollars, like 9-digit
triple A money.
dollars.
I thought it was like 700 million or something like that.
And and it was one of the, I mean, this along with like the Bungie acquisition has been huge blunders on fucking Sony's part.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've all seen the reports. Fucking Bungie's in the red. It's not working out as well as it should be. Supposedly they're the ones that shut down that fucking Last of Us multiplayer thing. Because they naysayed some shit. When all of a sudden fucking Concord got to go through, like none of this makes sense. And it was just a bunch of fucking bullshit on top of bullshit. And that's fucking disappointing.
Yeah.
Ubisoft needs to get their shit together. They canceled the third division game.
Did they?
Or they canceled, well, not the third division game, the free-to-play one, the Division
the
Heartland.
extraction shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also disappointing because I kind of was interested in that.
I was too.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of games that are based in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Especially like tactical games like
I
that.
like the combat system in the Division. I like the cover shooting and shit.
And the dark zones were fun, though hectic and fucking scary. So I don't see why they couldn't have just expanded on that, but no, fuck me. Let's keep Skull and Bones going out of some fucking Malaysian hellhole that it was made in. So, I'm not saying Malaysia's a hellhole, but you know what I mean. The studio is.
It's fine.
So yeah, there was definitely all the layoffs are a huge disappointment. There's been more layoffs this year than the past like 3 years combined or some shit. So I mean, like, and that's from the COVID bubble. That nobody ever thought like, hey, we're stuck at home, so we're gonna play fucking games. You don't think people are gonna go back outside at some point? And you know,
I mean,
all
I
that
was kidding, but
all that stuff is gonna, you know, like all that high tide isn't gonna come back down and sink all these ships. So you've just seen studio after studio closure, which is hella disappointing.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed in Xbox because they can't get their wording correct. They can't get their message across in a good way. The way they talked about how they're trying to come out with a Steam Deck recently, or a Steam Deck like, you know, handheld.
Xbox
portable
handheld, yeah.
computer.
Yeah, is completely just is a mixed bag. It just seems like it's almost like a, oh shit, you know, Sony kind of, you know, played their hand saying they're working on a handheld. Switch 2 just got fucking announced.
Yeah.
Not really by Nintendo, which was disappointing.
To be fair, though, I'm more interested in an Xbox handheld than I am in an Xbox console. So
I am too. I think,
and also Phil Spencer, ever since the Steam Deck came out, has just been gushing about loving using it. And then when the other ones are coming out, he was using all those as well. So I think he got inspired by just seeing that people were making portable PCs. And I think it would work really good with Game Pass, having just a service that you can just download games to your portable system and not have to really think about buying them. I think it'd be a really good system. But yeah, other than that, though, the way they're handling the Xbox brand, I am disappointed in, because it seems like they just don't give a fuck about it. But to their credit, they released 2 decent games in 2024. Didn't really win many awards except for Senua Saga, but Indiana Jones, solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's solid, but it did that, you know, that faux pas of fucking coming out after December something. So they're like, we can't add this to the Game Awards. I was like, bitch, it's the same fucking year.
I think it was.
You don't have time to process it. I agree with that decision.
Yeah.
So,
well, I was like,
honeymoon phase is a real thing.
Oh, for sure.
No, it is, but I know Cyberpunk got. I mean, they didn't really deserve any awards anyway when the game released, but they were completely skipped over by the Game Awards too because it came out on the 20th of December. And look, I agree. I just think that there has to be a better way to do it for large games that do.
The thing that sucks about Cyberpunk 2 is it came out in the state it came out. So in that year, I don't think it would have won anyway. But the final product, I think, absolutely deserved Game of the Year. So I don't know how you handle that, except for they should have just not released it and kept developing it for a year. But it's tricky because the final product is absolutely Game of the Year material. It's fucking amazing. But that original one, it'd be really hard to give a game that buggy Game of the Year. People are like fucking Cody's like flying in his car and shit, doing backflips or whatever the fuck he's telling me about, and like I got Jackie walking through cars and shit, and like they're like, that's Game of the Year, and it's like maybe later it will be.
The best ways to handle it anyways is either just consider your gaming year to be December through November, or start having every Game of the Year show be in January.
Right.
I think they should do that, but that's what we're doing here, and we're smart, so I don't know.
Just to allow, you know,
just finish the year out.
Marinate.
All right, English is hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But as far as I could think, that's my gaming disappointments. There's a lot more than 3, but
it's not like you're just pissed at the gaming industry.
This was therapeutic.
Yeah, it's like getting a lot off your chest.
Must feel better.
It was, man. There's a lot of bullshit that happened this fucking year, and hopefully they learn, or else they're going under.
There was definitely here. I'll piggyback a little bit, but we don't have to get into it because I want to get your guys' disappointments. But here's a major disappointment in 2024 is we got to see the mask pulled off of AAA, and they were just failing left and right throughout 2024 in a way that was hard to defend for a lot of people. And I'll even throw in BioWare there with Veilguard. I know a lot of people like that game. A lot of people didn't like that game, and a lot of people bitched about that game. It's just another victim of a self-inflicted wound of AAA not having their finger on the pulse And it's just 2024 was just full of that. But because of that, we got to enjoy the AA darlings, the indie games that are always coming up with great new ideas, and the AAA games that did respect our money and time, like Dragon's Dogma 2. So yeah, 2024 in general, back kind of back in Josh's everyone can go fuck themselves thing. AAA really dropped the ball in 2024. In a way that everyone got to see. And so it's going to kind of shape the future of how they handle things. And Ubisoft is, canceling everything. Sony's fucking canceling everything because they can't play around. They have to have games that just do well. So.
Well, did you see that something came out that was like Ubisoft's like almost talking like they're looking to sell, or they're like...
Ubisoft went through like 5 different things that they're planning on doing. The biggest thing they're trying to do is make sure that the Guillemons keep control of the company.
Yeah.
But on that, they're willing to sell. They don't want to get bought out unless they can keep Yves Guillemot in control, basically. But they're like, they're at the point where they're willing to sell their company. They just want to make sure they can control it. And I'm like, that's not good.
Yeah, and rumor has that Assassin's Creed Shadows has to hit.
It has to.
It has to hit, or else they're done.
Because Outlaw is undersold.
Yep.
And Skull and Bones didn't sell.
Outlaws came out in a real fucking weird... They literally had an update in the... you pay to play the game early.
Yeah.
Like a week, And then like 5 days into that week, they had an update that soft locked your save. So you couldn't like move forward. They had progression blockers built in.
Oh, weird.
So like you literally had to start over again. So I was like, what the fuck was the point of paying that money?
Yeah, I didn't hear about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, holy shit, like that's... Oof.
Yeah.
I'm begotten by that early access shit, but it's going to get me one day.
Yeah. All right, let's get this moving along. Cody, you got any disappointments?
I think we pretty much covered most of them. But Concord, I'll piggyback on that one. That was kind of a disappointment. I kind of didn't really have much faith in it just because it was... you could see what they were trying to do, but it was just, again, like none of the characters looked cool. It just didn't really... I mean, played solid, but yeah, it was just... Didn't gravitate towards a certain character. The play styles just kind of seemed the same.
Yep.
Or the characters, their abilities kind of seemed the same, and it just it's just a real stinker. But,
especially in a game where like the things you're working to unlock are cosmetics and they're just different colors and costumes look like shit. Yeah, so it's like that's what you're gonna keep me playing with is stuff I don't want.
Right.
It's fucking just different colored trash bags.
Yeah.
It's like, if they're gonna come out with story stuff and that secret level episode and build this whole thing, it's like make them look cool, like make it really pull us in, and it just didn't really seem like it had life ever. So to release it, I don't even think it really went over. I think something crazy like 500 concurrent players.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was like something really ridiculous. And it was just one of those games that everybody just started harping on. And, I know a lot of like the streamers and shit were just watching like how many concurrent players they were playing and just dogging on it. I was like, this game had no chance.
Yep, before it came out. Yep.
Yeah, like literally no chance. So, but yeah, that was a shitty one. But I really honestly, even, when Marvel Rivals came out too, and even though it's a little bit different, I don't even see where it would even have a chance, even if it was fun to be the type of game it is. I mean, they'll have to release it free to play to have any sort of run at it. But yeah, that was really the only one though.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Chevy,
I have nothing.
Got no therapy session you want to give?
Huh?
No therapy session for you?
Not really.
No venting?
A lot of the games and stuff you guys, are talking about aren't games I would play anyways. So,
right.
You
doesn't matter to me.
You don't want to talk about the disappointment in, what's her name? Woklamat? Isn't that her name?
Well, I brought it up as the reason it didn't hit my game of the year, but I still think the expansion as a whole was...
Woklamat? Is that their name?
Walk Lamont.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, Dick is a boring character,
Yeah,
but I'm not like peeved by it. So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, yeah. Mostly, all my disappointments are just the management, the devs, whoever's making the decisions. It's not even necessarily the games, because some of these Skull and Bones I didn't have any hype for. I was just like, why are you doing this, dude? Because it's not gonna fucking land, man.
yeah.
It's so obvious.
I don't know. I guess I mostly play Eastern games and they're killing it. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, true.